Kling 3.0 is looking to be one of the most insane video generation models coming out. There's a bunch of rumors, a bunch of buzz, and I'm going to dig into it with you right now. Let's go. So the other day, I was browsing my Instagram feed, as I normally do, and I came across this advertisement right here. This eyeball jumped out at me. If you've been following my channel, you know I've been trying to test hyper-realism and getting things to look very interesting and real, right? Everything from skin textures to fibers, fur, and hair. When I saw this eyeball, I said, that is a pretty damn good looking eyeball. It looks real, and it's so visceral, and you're right on it. And then I said, okay, what is Kling 3.0? And it's coming soon on Higgsfield, a platform I love. Let's go check this out. So over in Higgsfield, as you know, if you've been using Higgsfield, they have a ton of different models. And I have played with Kling 2.6. If you saw my Smokey the Bear Sasquatch video.
I'm talking about a little place called Aspen,
which I'll link in the description below. I used Kling 2.6 for the entirety of that video. I have clips that I've used Kling 01, etc. Kling is a great and powerful video model with a ton of potential behind it. And so if they're up in the ante on what this thing can do, I already have faith in it. It's going to be insane. I looked at Higgsfield's blog, and it turns out they have a blog about Kling 3.0. So I'm just going to break down some of the things that they're talking about here. So what the rumors are these rumors? It's on a blog. I think they're rumors. So what they're saying is that Kling is expected to be much longer in length. I was reading 30 to 60 second generations. What this does is you could do a tracking shot, you could do a whole bunch of different storytelling techniques. If you saw my Jurassic Park video where I zoom out from the gate, I think that was like a 12-second clip, and I was dealing with 8-second generations. I had to stitch multiple clips together by taking the last frame of the clip before and then making that the first frame of the next clip to sort of daisy chain these things together to get a long video. And you can see it because those things, they speed ramp, right? So there's like a curve in the motion, so you have to kind of like adjust the timing. It's a mess, a manual mess. If they could just get longer generations, this would become such a powerful tool for creators. Much more complicated dynamic movements. Say you're like flying through a city and you get these crazy drone shots. I don't know if anybody saw the music video I did that was all one take, and it was sort of moving from one shot to the next, and I think that was a minute or 2 minutes worth. You could do that all in one generation instead of having, multiple starts and stops and connecting, blurring all of these things. That would save so much time and make so much more freedom for storytellers to tell the story they're trying to tell. The other thing here is they said the director memory is the thing that jumped out at me. Director memory. So one of the things that the rumors floating around, not just in this blog, but also there's a Reddit post, which I'll link all of these in the description below so you can check them out. But they're saying that with the Kling 3.0 model, there will be this thing called director memory where it goes just beyond character. So you can get character consistency in a much better way. So right now, for example, your character consistency is baked into its image. So if I have a start frame here and an end frame here, that character needs to represent itself across the full spectrum of motion. But what if I have a video where the character starts here and then he does something or she does something over here, and then they come back here, and that's the end frame. If my start frame and my end frame are both on the same position, the model has to sort of like interpolate what the heck it looks like in different angles. So what they're saying here is they're suggesting that Kling 3.0 will have this sort of built-in memory where it'll start learning your characters, and it'll probably be able to take in references so that you can get different parallax and angles of your character. If you saw my my dinosaurs video, you saw that I made sort of a model sheet for Earl Sinclair. So hopefully that's something you could feed into Kling and get much better character consistency across your video. They're also hinting that this could be more than just character, it could be environmental. So, for example, in my Waldo video, I had a bunch of scenes in Malta, and every time I made a new shot, I have to re-prompt the environment and say, okay, this is going to be in Malta, and it needs to look like Malta, and I need the sort of like expanded windows and the alley and the tone and blah, 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 blah. You get it. I think that they're hinting that this could be a solve for that, where you sort of set your environment, you set your character, and you just worry about prompting the action. If that's true, massive amounts of time saved. Very cool. Another thing that they're talking about is improved physics. So like right now, the physics are super cool. The water effects in my dinosaur video blew me away. Some of the action is insane. It is very real, but there are limitations. Like I was trying to get Waldo to do this Matrix style combat scene. Anytime there's like a lot of action and fast paced movement, it just kind of falls apart. It doesn't really take well to, colliding objects. So like things, even like a hug, for example, the characters will like blur together and they don't have the sort of kinetic energy when something hits. So I'm hoping for a solve for something like that. Maybe this is what they're talking about with, character motion physics improvements and then also camera motion physics improvements. That would be amazing. So another thing they're rumoring is that it will have native 4K generations. Native 4K, amazing. Every single video you see of mine is either 720p or 1080p upscaled to 4K. 4K is super important. I think when you get these models to become 4K, you bridge the gap from these are tools for social media to these are tools for cinema, television, professional applications. If they can get really good looking 4K, it's going to change the industry. Also, they're saying up to 60 frames per second. So 4K 60 frames per second leapfrogs everything we've been seeing with these models. Quick disclaimer, all of the footage that I've been showing in this hasn't been Kling 3.0 with the exception of that eyeball. All of this stuff is Kling 2.6 and 01. It's definitely the bedrock and probably the basis of the 3.0 model, but don't get it twisted, it's not 3.0. I think the only thing of 3.0 out there that I could find was that damn eyeball. So we'll see what else comes out. All right, bye.